Right now at noon, the 2023 Toy Box campaign was a huge, and now our elves are out delivering presents to the children of the 4 states.
Plus, we've had a mostly cloudy day out there. Temperatures still going above normal. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, some parking lot donuts causes quite the chaotic scene for one local business.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. We begin our broadcast with exciting holiday news. The Toy Box elves are out for delivery. Thanks to the help of our 4-state community, our viewers, and sponsors, KOAM is able to continue the tradition of helping thousands of area families put a present under the Christmas tree this year. 5 Star Moving came into the studio today to help us load up bags and bags of toys. They'll be helping us also pick up toys at drop-off locations throughout the 4 states. Those toys will then go to partnering agencies in each county, and all the hard work and generosity will come together for brighter smiles on Christmas Day. Thank you again to all who donated to the KOAM Toy Box this year. And authorities arrest a man in connection with a shooting incident at a Pittsburgh bar back in August. Around 3 yesterday afternoon, U.S. Marshals arrested 33-year-old Jamon Allen in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He was wanted on a felony warrant for first-degree murder in connection with the shooting of the August 2020 death of Justin Krogan. It happened outside Jimmy B's Saloon at 202 Locust in Pittsburgh. Officers arrived on scene to find Krogan, who had been shot. Krogan later died from his injuries. And in Afton, Oklahoma, a man pleads guilty to voluntary manslaughter in the death of an infant. Yesterday in federal court, Samson Fry pleaded guilty in connection to the shaking death of an infant son more than 5 years ago. Fry admitted to shaking and dropping his infant son, who fell to the ground in November of 2018. The child later died at the hospital. Authorities dismissed 2 other counts against Fry: first-degree felony murder in Indian County and child neglect in Indian Country.
Yeah, and we've had mostly cloudy skies across the area for us today, and you can see from earlier on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, that loop, we get those little gaps where you kind of feel like you're in the eye of a storm. You've got clouds around you but not over you, but it won't take long for more to roll in. Our next storm system still off to our south and west, but take a look at the loop here and how much it's not moving. It's almost like it's hit a wall. Eventually, that will make its way to the east and bring us some rain chances as we head into the weekend. Earlier today, you can see what looked like some dark clouds off to the north from the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line, and of course, it's just simply because of the way the sun is hitting. And there's another view of those clouds from our camera on top of the Cornell complex from this morning. Mostly cloudy skies, again, going to be the trend the next few days. Yesterday, started the day at 29, right where we're supposed to be. But take a look at that high, 61 degrees. That is 12 degrees above where we should be for this time of year, and not that far off of a record high from back in 2015. So our high is continuing to warm. So bear in mind, average high of 48, and as you can see, we are nowhere near that here recently or as we head through the next few days. We do again have rain chances as we head into this upcoming weekend. We're going to take a look at that full forecast and whether or not the warm temperatures stick around here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. The Joplin Fire Department yesterday trained on some new equipment. The JFD trained on new low-pressure, high-volume fire hose technology. This new technology will allow the JFD to put more water readily on fires and reduce fatigue on the equipment and firefighters. The JFD training chief says that the training will make using the new technology easier to use when the time comes.
The intent on the training, because we want to be absolutely completely proficient with all of our equipment at all times, so when we respond to that call for assistance or for a structure fire or something like that, we are well versed. We know the limitations and capabilities of our equipment, and we can use it to be most advantageous to mitigate whatever emergency.
The Joplin Fire Department looks to have the new technology on the trucks by early spring. And some Fast and the Furious wannabes triggered the fire alarm of one local business after their tire burnout caused quite the smoky scene. At 8:30 a.m. this morning, the Joplin Fire Department responded to a call for a fire at Jimmy John's rooftop located at 4th and Rangeline. Light smoke was present inside the building as everyone evacuated from the fire alarm. On arrival, Joplin Fire determined quickly that the unit on the top of the building was not on fire. Joplin Fire told us on scene someone near the building had done a burnout, and the smoke, bringing the smell of burnt rubber, was taken in by the intake on top of the roof, causing the fire alarm to sound. Now, Joplin Fire set up fans and cleared the light smoke inside the structure. There was no fire and no injuries. JPD then told us the 25-year-old male driver from Joplin, who was responsible for the incident, was arrested for careless driving. And that's a look at today's top stories and weather in the 4 states region. Up next on KOAM News at Noon, Hunter Biden arrived on Capitol Hill today after being subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee. And later, we're making golden corn pudding in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, who is facing tax evasion charges and gun charges, makes rare comments on Capitol Hill today. It comes as the Republican-led House of Representatives gets ready to take the next step towards the possible impeachment of President Biden. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, arrived on Capitol Hill Wednesday after being subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee, which is leading an impeachment inquiry into his father.
I'm here today to make sure that the House Committee's illegitimate investigations of my family do not proceed on distortions, manipulated evidence, and lies.
Hunter Biden insisted he will only testify in a public hearing, not behind closed doors as the committee requested.
I'm here. I'm ready.
Republicans pushed back.
We expect to depose the president's son, and then we will be more than happy to have a public hearing with him.
The rare comments come days after Hunter Biden was indicted on tax evasion charges. He is also facing gun charges. House Republicans have been investigating whether President Biden improperly benefited from foreign business dealings allegedly involving Hunter and other family members. Hunter Biden, who's recovering from addiction, admitted he made mistakes in his life, but forcefully denied any wrongdoing by his father, President Biden.
My father was not financially involved in my business, not as a practicing lawyer, not as a board member of Burisma.
Republicans in the House plan to vote to formalize the impeachment inquiry of President Biden as early as today.
We think the House of Representatives will go on record with a power that solely resides in the House.
Many Republicans hope that making the investigation more official will help them enforce subpoenas. The months-long investigation has not found direct evidence of wrongdoing by the president. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The overnight committees issued subpoenas for the president's brother, James Biden, and Hunter Biden's personal business records in September. And today, President Biden is set to meet with the families of Americans taken hostage by Hamas during the October 7th attacks. As White House security advisors head to Israel, they're set to meet with Israeli officials about their timetable for the war in Gaza. All of this as calls for ceasefire grow louder. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
Overnight in Jerusalem, crowds marched through rainy streets demanding Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu do more to free hostages.
We would like them to go to negotiation immediately. There isn't any time.
Today, President Biden is set to meet with the families of Americans taken by Hamas, one day after Biden took his toughest stance yet on Israel's handling of the war, saying at a fundraiser there's no question about the need to take out Hamas. But Biden warned Israel is losing international support because of the, quote, indiscriminate bombing of Gaza. Overnight, an Israeli airstrike killed nearly 10 people, the bombs hitting a few hundred yards from a CBS News producer sheltering in one of the so-called safe zones in southern Gaza. The same day, the 193-member UN General Assembly voted overwhelmingly for a ceasefire.
In the name of humanity, I ask you all once again, stop this violence now.
The U.S., Israel, and 8 other countries voting against, arguing anything longer than a temporary pause would be dangerous.
Dangerous to Israelis, who would be subject to relentless attacks, and also dangerous to Palestinians, who deserve the chance to build a better future for themselves, free from Hamas.
The UN ceasefire resolution is non-binding, but seen as a barometer of the world's opinion. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Israel's military has reportedly started to pump seawater into Hamas tunnels into Gaza to destroy them. While there is a concern that hostages are still being held in some tunnels, President Biden says there are assertions being made that there are no hostages in these tunnels. Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, we see what's cooking with Mr. Food.
The corn pudding we're whipping up today is rumored to be quite similar to the one that President Eisenhower loved. If so, you know it has to be good.
But first, we are continuing to stay above average across the area. We also have rain chances to look at. We'll take a look at that forecast when the KOAM News at Noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon on what is going to be another above average day for us. It's also going to be another cloudy day for us out there as well. We've already experienced that. Quick look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker from earlier today. We've got those clouds, and we mentioned this too. You've kind of got that little eye. You get these brief clearings where around you, it's like being in the eye of a hurricane, but an oddly shaped eye at that, where you've got clouds around you, but not necessarily right over you. But as you can see, just a big wave of clouds out there. This is Skywatch Storm Tracker, so we're throwing on the winter mode, and you can see southeastern Colorado into southwestern Kansas, some light snow, even a light wintry mix, and then showers and even thunderstorms stretching back into the Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma. But look right here. Just to the west of Oklahoma City. It's like it's hitting a wall. It just stops moving. And that's what we're keeping an eye on. We're not worried about it. I want you to understand we're not worried about the fact it's not moving. It's just a matter of when it gets caught up and actually takes off. That's going to determine when it gets here and brings us our rain chances. MoDOT camera 32nd in range line again. Earlier today, you saw sunshine. We saw the clouds. And we take a look from the Cornell Complex camera in downtown Joplin. We've got the clouds. We've got some sun because Joplin also one of those brief overhead clearings out there. But then you head over to Kansas, no overhead clearing. You can see from the KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh on 69. Cloudy, a little darker out there. For the rest of the day, again, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures 10, maybe even 12 degrees above average. Some of us could go into the low 60s out there. Light southeast breeze at 5 to 10. Mostly cloudy is a phrase you're going to learn to hate here soon because that is the trend for the next few days. Mostly cloudy tonight. Upper 30s, 10 degrees above average out there. Southeast breeze still at about 5 to 10. And we hold on to a light southeast breeze tomorrow. We hold on to those mostly cloudy skies. And we hold on to above average temperatures as we once again go into the upper 50s and maybe even a few low 60s across the area. So here we are at noon. And we see that system still just hanging out there. We go noon tomorrow, still just kind of locked west of I-35. And then eventually gets caught up in the jet stream, gets pushed off to the east, and it rolls in by late Friday night because it just takes off. It's like it gets caught in a slingshot or just a vacuum and just rolls up here. By late Friday, a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two, but no strong or severe storms or anything like that. This will continue overnight and into our Saturday. Now, if this little slingshot vacuum effect continues with this system, then it is going to potentially haul out of here by Saturday evening. And then we'll be done. If it slows down again, we could have some lingering showers into our Sunday morning. So that's the other side we got to watch is if it holds its speed. So we've got both of those accounted for. Future Track is accounting for it taking off and being out of here Saturday evening. I'm so sorry. And we're also just keeping out that possibility it could linger. So otherwise, again, above average temperatures heading into Friday. Back to about normal as we head into this weekend, thanks to the rain and the clouds. But those normal temperatures don't last. We head into the next work week, third full week of December, and it certainly doesn't feel like it out there. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures once again 10, 12, 15 degrees above normal as we return to the upper 50s and even some low 60s by next week. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, stick around because we're making golden corn pudding in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Today he's making a traditional American side dish that is said to have been a favorite of President Dwight Eisenhower's. We don't see how anybody wouldn't love this creamy golden corn pudding that teams well with almost everything. Take a look.
One of our favorite things we do here in the Test Kitchen is go through our emails to see which recipes you like best, as well as to see if there's any specific recipes that you'd like us to come up with. One that many of you have asked for is a corn pudding that'll go great with your Christmas ham or with any of your weeknight favorites. So here's a creamy one that we just came up with. All we do is combine a can of cream-style corn, a splash of milk, a can of whole kernel corn that we've drained, a little sugar, and a couple of beaten eggs. To bind this together, we toss in some butter crackers that we crushed, mixed with a bit of cornstarch. After this is mixed, we pour it into a casserole dish and top it off with more crushed crackers to give it crunch. Next, we'll pop it in the oven for 45 minutes or so until it sort of puffs up and the top gets all golden. This is one of those dishes that's so quick to throw together, you almost feel guilty when you start getting all the compliments. It's that good. So here's what I suggest. Go online and print out a copy of what we call golden corn pudding. This way, you'll have it right at your fingertips. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a creamy and comforting way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
To find this recipe along with many others, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on Mr. Food. Now here's a look at your 4 state market prices.
All right, above average temperatures continue now through Friday. We'll have some showers moving in late Friday into Saturday. If the system slows down, it lasts into Sunday. If it speeds up or maintains this speed, it's out by Saturday evening. Normal temperatures this weekend, and then we'll go back above average as we head into the next work week.
For us tonight.
Well, a lot coming up at 5. For starters, it's the season for joy, holiday celebrations. This time of year is also a time when an awful lot of us put on a little bit of weight. We're going to have more on how to avoid putting on those pounds this holiday season. Plus, plans to relocate Davis to pave the way for a new railroad overpass. And Carthage Elementary celebrates creating an itty-bitty city with ribbon cutting. If you join us for those stories, a lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
All right, and that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. Have a great rest of your day.